Welcome to our Social Value in Construction conference. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Melanie Mills and I'm Chief Exec of Social Enterprise West Midlands for 1.5 more days, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I'm really delighted to be able to welcome you here, but I always get the pleasure of having to do some of the housekeeping things first of all. So just a quick reminder, if anybody's got phones, please can you switch them to silent or to off, because I know what it's like when you're desperately trying to root around in your bag or your jacket pocket because you can't find it. We're not expecting a fire alarm today, a drill, so if you do hear the bell sign, please evacuate by your nearest fire exit. The main meeting point is the front car park, the furthest away from the building. I also need to tell you about lunch, because I know that's really, really important. But the way that we run our SEWM conferences is we don't allow you to be really British and stand in a big long line. So you've got floor plans that are in your delegate packs, and you'll find that there's a lot of activity that's going on today. So we really want you to use the networking time. Don't waste it by standing in a queue. I promise you there'll be sandwiches and coffee left. If there's a big long queue, you probably can't find one of my team coming along and ushering you, say there's something else you could do in that moment. And I'll come back to what there is to do. As in all good social sector organisations, we will be tweeting, and we'll be particularly tweeting now the internet's fixed. Hooray! So if you're not already following us, you can do so at @_SEWM and use the hashtag today #BuildSocValue, because it'll be really important for us then to be able to refeed those stories back to you. I talked about some of the other things today. One of the things that Social Enterprise West Midlands has long adapted as a tradition in running its big events is we like, in most places you get one of those forms, don't you, tick to say, were the seats comfortable? Yes, I hope so. Did you like the speakers? Were they entertaining? We don't mark you, you're okay. But we want to really find out some quality data from you, and we use that data to be able to support the story and also to make constructive challenge. So you will find today that you've got some of our apprentices from our parent group, the Aspire group, based in Staffordshire, who've volunteered to come down today, and they're our iPad inquisitors, okay? And they have got a social value in construction survey. Now, you've got several ways that you can undertake this. In your brochure that you will find in your pack, you've got a QR code, so you can scan it if you want to do that. The long link is there if you want to go online and fill it in yourselves, or you can participate. Because I'm from enterprise and long sort of established from retail, I like to give everybody a target. So we want at least 50% of you to give us the data for that survey so we can have a really good data set. So please do try and either fill in the survey or be with one of the inquisitors today. I talked about some of the other things that are going on when I don't want you to stand in the queue. We've got a really big programme for you today. We've got extensive exhibition stands. There are over 25 exhibitors here, and we had a wait list, all right? So please do use the time to go and meet the exhibitors. Really importantly, this afternoon after lunch, I shall have to drag you, I'm sure, from all your networking conversations back into the auditorium, and we're going to set the scene for a really important session this afternoon, which is our Meet the Buyer exchange, very kindly sponsored by Mears. Why did we do that? Well, there have been a lot of Meet the Buyer events recently, and we've attended a lot of them. But I know that if I was to ask my smaller organisations, the social enterprises and the SMEs that are part of our membership, and say, what would you value most in terms of the events we put on? They would say, I would give anything to have 15 minutes in front of somebody that I think might want to buy my services. And actually, it's really difficult to get through all the layers, as I found when I was trying to get some people to come to this conference. And I'm reasonably persistent. So you've got the opportunity. If you haven't already signed up for a Meet the Buyer slot, you need to do that at break time. You can do that by going out the top doors. It's just sheets on the table with time slots, and you need to book a slot to go and see one of the exhibitors that's going to be there. We've also got our masterclasses. Full details are in your pack. Probably this is the bit where you might need help. If you can't find the locations, my team will be there to point you in the right direction. So we've got a really good opportunity to try and share some best practice and some learning, and probably a bit less formal for you to ask some questions and perhaps, how did you do that? Did it work? How could we work with you? So with no further ado, I thought I'd go on and just set the scene, really. For those of you that don't know us, we are Social Enterprise West Midlands. We are the regional infrastructure support organisation for social enterprise and social value in the West Midlands. I put the kick on there so you can see we are a community interest company. We are a social enterprise ourselves. And every time I stand on this stage, probably one of the last times I shall do so, I always feel incredibly proud that I can say that 4 years on, we don't receive any public funding. We didn't receive any in 2011 when our £500,000 went, and here we are 4 years later, thriving and surviving. And actually, I think pretty much now the only successful and sustainable regional social enterprise network. So thank you, all of you, for everybody that's believed in us and supported us, because without your membership, the events that you turn up to, the consultancy that we deliver, all of the parts of our brands, and we wouldn't be here today. And we just did a recent annual survey, and 91% of you said that you thought that the service we gave you was good or excellent, and over a quarter of you have responded. That's pretty incredible for a membership organisation. So I am leaving you in very capable hands with my team, not only the existing team, who have been absolutely fabulous. I mean, I think I'm a bit of a hard taskmaster at times, I'm sure they would say that, but they always go above and beyond. Please continue to support them, because the quote that from the survey that really sits with me was one of the ones where a member said, simply the best thing about the network is that it's here at all. Okay. So, what does Social Enterprise West Midlands mean? I want to tell you about our social purpose. Why are we here? Very simple. It's to grow the social economy in the West Midlands. All right? And we do that by unlocking opportunities for our members. So everything we do is focused on trying to create business opportunities for you, regardless of what your governance structure is. We don't only work with social enterprises. In fact, we believe that a more balanced economy, which can only be achieved through partnership and collaboration, through working with public, private and third sector organisations. And that's why we run these events. And suppose then the question is, so why construction? You know, this is the third in a series of social value conferences that we've run. We had over 300 people at the first one, which was generic around social value. We ran a social value and health and wellbeing session last year. So why turn to construction? Well, I don't think perhaps I need to do too much more than put up some of those government stats there for you. The construction industry is worth £90 billion to the UK. And I think when you look at some of the opportunity that exists, the Social Value Act gave us even more reason to try and work together. So, okay, I want to challenge some of the perceptions as well. I do meet these barriers still in all of the work that we do around educating and engaging. I still find people that think we only run community cafes. Not that there's anything wrong with running a community cafe, they're at the heart of our communities, but it's not all that we do. In fact, I won't shame the person. Maybe in my memoirs, I don't know whether I'll ever get that far, but somebody did actually say that we need to prove that we don't knit slippers. So I think what we're trying to do when we come into these sectors is to challenge perceptions that social value can only be created in green contracts or health and social care, because of course it can be created across all sectors. So that's why construction. So why the West Midlands? Well, when I looked up, well, the West Midlands delivers around 10% of that. So it's increasingly important to the infrastructure of the West Midlands economy. And the other reason is because actually, if I had to take a view of perhaps some of our prime contractors and those that have engaged most around social value, our experience in Social Enterprise West Midlands is that construction, housing, highways, infrastructure in terms of building things really seem to have seen the opportunity that social value exists, both in terms of them winning work and also in terms of embedding social value in their contracts. So then lastly, and I was just regaling this story, why Wolverhampton? Earlier this year I was driving to a visit. We were hosting a minister, and I brought them to Wolverhampton University to meet some social enterprises and to talk about some of the things that the university was doing. And I drove past this huge billboard and it said, Wolverhampton, the Centre of Construction Excellence for the West Midlands. And I thought, well, I'm going to have a conference, it needs to be in Wolverhampton then. Hence why, apparently it's Tom's fault because it was his billboard. And unfortunately, Ian then got me knocking on his door. So there we go, that's how we ended up here today. Very briefly to summarise, we all know the picture there is at the moment. We've all reasonably got less, having to try to do more whilst trying to create social impact. And that really is the message for today that's coming from me. So I'm going to leave you with 3 challenges, really. They're in your book. I want you to be inspired. So it doesn't matter what sector you come from. I want you to be inspired. I want you to learn from somebody else's best practice or experience today. I want you to make a change. I don't want you to think about it. I want you to do something different when you get back to work tomorrow, okay? In whatever walk of life it is you do. But most importantly, because actually, as I say, I'm a trader, really, yeah? I want you to do a great deal. So buy a product, commission a service, work with a partner, but do something that will deliver more than its face value. And if we just have a few examples of that, I think I worked out, if we just were to do 1% of all the construction was to work with social impact, we put £87 billion into the economy. I have to thank our sponsors. Nothing that we do in Social Enterprise West Midlands is funded. We couldn't put these events on unless we were able to attract sponsors and offer value back. So a particular thank to our conference sponsor, to Kia, but also to our venue sponsor, Wolverhampton. It's always important for me to find a place that's big enough to house you all in. And for all of our other sponsors who play a really important part in being here today. So, that's from me now. I'm sure for many of you that I haven't met before, we'll take the opportunity to meet during the networking exhibition, have an opportunity to say some farewells to people and talk about what I'm going to do next. I'm not going far away in the sector, and I am aiming to bring more money. I'm going to work for Big Society Capital. So don't all flock at once. I haven't got it yet. I don't start till Monday. But I'm going to hand over to Ian Oakes, who is the Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Wolverhampton University and Chief Executive of the Science Park. And he's going to tell you more about what Wolverhampton University are doing in this space. Thank you very much.